In high-current DC systems, electrical resistance at the connection lugs generates enough heat to melt insulation and ignite the surrounding components. This is the physical result of a system that fails to account for continuous current loads. We are engineering a system to power a consistent 10 kilowatt-hour daily load, prioritizing thermal stability and chemical longevity. Standard sizing tutorials often treat off-grid design as a simple division problem, matching the household load directly to the face value ratings of the batteries and panels. This split-screen graphic displays the common paper math approach. It suggests a 10 kilowatt-hour house requires only a 10 kilowatt-hour battery and 2.5 kilowatt solar array. This model omits the cumulative efficiency losses that occur at every stage of the energy path. Real-world off-grid operations are governed by thermodynamic and chemical inefficiencies. Every energy transfer, from the panel to the battery and the battery to the inverter, bleeds energy as waste heat. A reliable design accounts for continuous DC current, thermal derating of components, and the chemical limits of the battery cells. To build a robust architecture, we must reverse engineer the system starting from the house load, calculating the specific energy tax at every electrical node. Omitting the complete energy path creates a system that appears functional on paper, but is mathematically destined for thermal or chemical failure. We begin at the house load on the far right of our schematic. The first node energy must pass through is the inverter. Our baseline requirement is 10,000 watt-hours of cumulative energy spread across a 24-hour period, as shown by this filling bar chart. While the energy total is cumulative, the power demand is volatile. This intersecting line graph shows the 4,000-watt spike created when heavy appliances, like a well pump and a microwave, create simultaneous loads. Inverter sizing depends entirely on these peak simultaneous power demands, rather than the total daily energy consumption. To service a 4,000-watt peak demand with a safe margin, we require a 5 kilowatt inverter platform. A 5 kilowatt unit provides 1,000 watts of surge headroom, allowing the system to handle the high inductive loads of motor starts without tripping. Operating the inverter below its maximum capacity limits the internal heat generation within the chassis. This power headroom functions as a thermal defense, preventing the cooling fans from overworking and avoiding thermal shutdowns during high demand periods. Moving deeper into the system, we must examine the direct current traveling from the battery bank into the 5 kilowatt inverter. The continuous current on this line is defined by a foundational formula. Current equals power divided by the product of voltage and efficiency. At 12 volts, pushing a 5 kilowatt load requires a massive continuous draw of 417 amps. The resulting heat and voltage drop are visible here as the cable glows red. Managing 400 amps of DC current requires impractically thick, expensive copper cabling and creates extreme thermal stress at every connection point. Shifting the architecture to 48 volts reduces the current to approximately 104 amps. The connecting line returns to a stable blue, indicating manageable thermal levels. This 75% reduction in current allows for standard cable gauges that run significantly cooler than their low-voltage counterparts. Lower current minimizes voltage drop across the cables, which provides the inverter with the stable voltage required to maintain operation under heavy load. For high-power off-grid systems, a 48-volt architecture is the physical standard for maintaining fire safety and efficiency. We now place the battery bank into the architecture. We begin with a theoretical 10 kilowatt-hour capacity reading inside the battery block. Simple sizing assumes a 10 kilowatt-hour battery can fully service a 10 kilowatt-hour daily load. However, inverter conversion inefficiency typically bleeds 8% of the battery's energy as waste heat, as shown by these heat waves. The battery must surrender more than 10.8 kilowatt-hours just to deliver 10 kilowatt-hours of usable energy to the house. We must also respect the depth of discharge limit for lithium iron phosphate batteries. This shaded area represents the 20% of capacity that must remain untouched to protect the cells. Consistently draining a lithium battery to absolute zero causes irreversible chemical degradation, leading to premature physical failure of the bank. The final battery sizing formula divides our daily load by the combined factors of depth of discharge and system efficiency. The battery block must expand to accommodate this math. This calculation identifies a nominal storage requirement of 14 kilowatt-hours to safely power the load. At 48 volts, this energy capacity is equivalent to a 300 amp-hour battery bank. Correctly engineered reserve margins prevent rapid chemical aging, ensuring the system survives thousands of cycles rather than failing within the first year. The final node in our energy path is the solar panel array, which must provide enough raw energy to replenish the battery bank daily. Standard DIY calculations often divide a 10 kilowatt-hour load by 5 peak sun hours to justify a 2,000-watt array. These calculations rely on standard test conditions, a laboratory environment that uses refrigerated panels and perfect light angles. In reality, panel output is reduced by high surface temperatures, dust accumulation, and wiring resistance. When we include the conversion losses from the charge controller, real-world panel efficiency often drops to 80% of the factory rating. Factoring in these variables, the absolute minimum array size required to break even is 2,500 watts. A break-even system is vulnerable. A single cloudy day or the low sun angles of winter will prevent the battery from reaching a full state of charge. Engineering for reliability requires expanding the array to 3.5 kilowatts. This expanded capacity, shown here, accelerates the recharge cycle. This intentional overpaneling ensures the battery bank reaches 100% capacity by early afternoon, even during suboptimal weather. This excess solar capacity serves as an insurance policy, providing the raw energy necessary for the system to survive variable environmental conditions. The completed architecture provides a full view of the energy path: a 3.5 kilowatt array, a 48-volt 300 amp-hour battery bank, and a 5 kilowatt inverter. Even with the math finalized, this high-power system requires specific safety components to protect these connection points. We must install Class T fuses and properly rated DC disconnects at these junctions to isolate the components during a fault. Using standard AC breakers in a high-voltage DC system is a critical safety error. When a fault occurs, a continuous arc of plasma can bridge the internal gap of an AC breaker, failing to interrupt the current and creating an immediate fire hazard. The final dimensions of this engineered 48-volt system are significantly more robust than the initial paper math assumptions suggested. These expanded dimensions provide the overhead necessary for the system to survive real-world weather variables and inevitable component aging. Rigorous calculation is the only method for achieving off-grid reliability. By respecting thermodynamic and efficiency limits, we move from a system that merely works on paper to one that survives in reality.